Hi, Simon here. I've got another quad to show you. It comes in a box. This is the Turnigy transmitter box that are really good for holding all sorts of things, including transmitters. But in this case, I'm actually using it to store quad because I've got another tiny little quad. So if I open up inside, you can see I've got a tiny little, right there, 180mm FPV racing quad. So this is a 250 for comparison's sake. You can see it's a bit smaller than a 250. But basically, apart from the being a little bit smaller, it's got all the same gear as a 250. So I'll just walk you through it. What we've got is a normal Sony sized camera, like a normal board cam. This one is the Emax version, which is a little bit cheaper than the Sony one. A 250 milliwatt Fat Shark transmitter, but you could put an immersion in there. I just happen to have a 250 milliwatt spare. A Naze Afro running clean flight. Naze Acro rather, running clean flight. I've got the OS-Doge OSD board underneath. That's the second layer down here. And then a little 36mm power distribution board down the bottom. And a dehoused D4R2 down the back here. So the frame is made by Thug Frames, and it's a unibody bottom, a unibody construction on the bottom. And it comes with this 3D printed part down the back here, and all of the standoffs and everything else. It's a really, really good little frame. I guess the idea behind this is the smallest possible racing quad that can carry everything that you would typically want to carry, except maybe a Mobius. Although you could probably squeeze a Mobius on the front there if you wanted to build something custom to do so. It is a bit tight. You've got to sort of plan these builds a little bit better than you can plan a 250. Like a 250's actually got enough space to sort of just chuck everything in there, and you can see I'm using servo cables and pins and, you know, all the components that I didn't solder directly, and I just kind of like put in there and tape down, like the VTX and the receiver. With the 180, you've got to be a little bit more careful. So I've got everything is basically directly soldered onto the boards. So if I show you on this side, you can see I've had to basically cut every wire to the exact correct length and actually solder every wire directly onto the board. The other thing I did that I think is quite neat is I'm using the new BL Heli ESCs from, what are they called? The KISS ESCs, the 12 amp BL Heli running KISS ESCs with the active braking, which is really cool. It runs one shot as well, so Clean Flight talks one shot to the ESCs. So you can really hear it when you like move up and down the throttle. It goes nick 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 nick. It's like much quicker throttle response than a normal ESC. But of course the KISS ESCs are opto ESCs. They don't have a BEC. They don't have a wire coming out to give you 5 volts. So that's why I'm using the OS-Doge in here. The OS-Doge also gives you a really clean 12 and 5 volt power supply to power your Naze and to power your camera and your VTX. So the electricals on this is really, really nice. So the other thing it comes with is a really nice way of plugging in the XT60 connector at the top. Like there's a hole in the frame that goes straight into the 3D printed part. The 3D printed part's also got these 2 little holes down the back here for your D4R2 like antenna wires, so they kind of stick out the back, which is kind of nice as well. And like just the right size hole to put the 5.8 gigahertz antenna. So I think Stefan's done an amazing job with this frame and this design. It goes together beautifully. Like I said, you kind of have to build the center part first and make sure you've got all the wires coming out and they're all the right length before you kind of put it all in together. But the end result is just so tidy, so nice. I'm flying this with a 1,300 milliamp hour battery, but I think that's too heavy. I'm going to try it on an 850. And see how it goes with that. This is obviously running 3-cell. It'd be nice to run 4-cell. The ESCs can handle 4-cell, and the OS-Doge can handle 4-cell. Unfortunately, these little motors, these are the 1306 motors from DYS. They don't handle 4-cell yet, so you can only run this on 3-cell. It would be insane on 4-cell. I don't know. When I flew it on the first time on 3-cell, I was using a very old pack that probably has a lot of internal distance now. So I haven't really got a full sense of how quick this is. But I did see a friend's 180mm with the same motors absolutely haul, which was kind of cool. So what are you giving up by going down to this size instead of the 250? Mostly, I think the biggest difference is just trying to find somewhere to actually mount the Mobius. If you want to fly a Mobius, is the real big difference. 250s are already incredibly portable, but like this is just insane. Like you can just, I don't know, you can take this everywhere with you, I guess. And the end result is it feels just like flying a normal quad. So yeah, that's the 180mm. London Aerospace, there's a whole bunch of people getting into them right now. We're all sort of building 180mm, and I think we'll probably race some of them at the FPV League meetup on the 24th. Yeah, it's cool. So you can get it from Thug Frames, and yeah, it's a good frame, recommended.